be honest with you, I didn't get the live album thing at all. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ian J. Cole and this is
Jane. Hi.
Right, and in this video we're actually reviewing a musical play, would we call it?
Yeah, I think we would.
It's called Climb, and the story behind this, we were in a queue for a performance last night, and the director came along and offered us some complimentary tickets, and he wants to know what people think about it. Just before we get into the main part of the review, here is a short piece by Duane Forrest, who is the creator, writer and producer and plays the main character in Climb.
From the bottomless pit, but mine were made strong.
Yeah, it's I called it The Climb because it's about personal growth, but particularly within a relationship. The story comes from a lady that I met in Mexico, and she told me in Spanish that she's an apple in the tree, and in the tree there are many apples, but if I want to be with her, I have to climb to the top. So I really liked the story, and I thought about what it means to climb, and what my partner's worth would be, and what my worth is, and I decided to start writing music about it.
None of them can stop time. But how long shall they kill our prophets?
Yeah, 100%. I really appreciate culture and languages, and of course their music, and it's part of the reason why I like to travel. And I hear the different styles and the different ways they write words in their language and how they approach songwriting. And I've been trying to take a little bit from each place I go and like add it to my soup of music, you know? Yeah.
Bare feet will walk, I love those cute toes.
Yeah, it was easy for me to find my style because I grew up listening to music. My mom, she's Jamaican, my mom and dad, and they played a lot of music, and Jamaicans really appreciate a lot of music, not just reggae. We listen to all sorts of music, country, jazz, so I grew up listening to that mix, and so already it was easy for me to start to develop that sort of mixed sound, and my love of travel made it easier for me just to add these elements to the music, and I hope to add more.
She cried a bit, oh, life's like an ocean, it's wide and it's open, possibilities floating around in the blue.
Yeah, so Genesis Community of the Arts is it's an arts education project, and I used to live in Honduras when I was traveling, and I saw that many people that were adults didn't know, had never had a chance to play an instrument or paint or do different forms of dance, and I thought it was a terrible, terrible thing, and I wanted to change it. So I started teaching art, music, and dance out of my house in Copan, Honduras, and eventually it grew, and too many kids were coming, so I had to go and find Hondurans that could teach art, music, or dance, and that's how Genesis was born. And so now we have 5 teachers over 3 sites in Honduras and in Guatemala.
So that was a piece by Duane Forrest explaining a little bit about what Climb was about. So what do you think, Jane?
Well, I mean, looking at some of the flyer,
we've got the flyer here.
Climb, and it calls it the live album, and that's really kind of what it was. I mean, there was a narrative attached, I mean, do we know how real that was, or is that just a story made up?
We don't. I mean, I have to say, when I was sat there watching it, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I didn't get the live album thing at all until I saw it on the flyer. It didn't come across like a live album to me. There was music all the way through it, even behind dialogue that Duane was playing as his character Diego. And I sometimes thought that was slightly irritating, the fact that he was playing all the time. And the thing about an album is you have definitive number of songs, and I didn't think that there were some definitive songs, but not enough for it to be an album. Would be my approach.
You know, the songs as he played them were describing events that had happened in Diego, the character's life. Some were clearer than others because they had, you know, we'd been told or we'd actually witnessed what had happened. I mean, those verbal narrative links were quite short and didn't, you know, they weren't a big feature, but they propelled the action, as it were.
They did, yeah.
But the predominant thing was that he was always playing a song on his guitar. There was a guy playing bass to the side, I could just see him a little bit, but he was
playing a few instruments, because there was at one point was electric piano, and he certainly.
Right, I didn't see him do that.
I didn't see him at all when right at the beginning, but I suddenly heard some sort of electric guitar, because Duane was playing a classical guitar, and I thought, well, is that? I couldn't tell where it was, and there was a girl sat at the side. I'm thinking, well, she's not playing because she sat with her arms folded. So it was only when you pointed out to me that there was somebody tucked around the corner, almost off stage, who was obviously an additional musician, that I suddenly realised.
Quite a big part of it, really. But he never, even when Duane introduced everybody at the end, he sort of came out like another 2 inches, and so he never really took full, you know, sort of congratulations, or, you know, for what he'd done. I mean, the girl who did a lot of harmonies, and she did do one song on guitar. I mean, she sat quite prominently and actually featured in the story towards the end. And the music was very good.
It was. I think, I mean, it's not my style of music that I would normally listen to. I did think maybe it was the pieces behind the dialogue, but those bits seemed to have come across as quite samey to me. And when we had a definite song, like at one point there's a reggae song, and I liked that, and I wanted to hear more of that. So for me, there wasn't enough real songs. I was constantly thinking, so is this a proper song, where we're going to have a start, middle and end, or is this just a bit of music behind something that's going to happen? And I'd sort of struggled with that a bit.
I like the songs. They were very easy to listen to. They were beautifully played.
They were,
they were beautifully arranged. They were beautifully produced. And again, I mean, one feature, every time we've heard live music in the productions that we've seen and commented on, they've been fantastic.
The musicians,
quality of the sound is
yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Gosh, we've heard some terrible, vocal. Well, anyway, sound. Everything we've heard so far has been fantastic.
In previous years, you mean?
In previous years, and just generally out and about.
Yeah.
You know, you can hear. You think, oh, who's mixing this? Anyway, it's been brilliant. But I have to agree. You know, every so often there'd be something like the reggae, and I think the audience was itching to really, you know, they gave very warm applause. At the end.
It was quite a big room. I mean, it's a very big room, really, and there was only, I counted, there was about 30 of us.
Yeah.
And I know that they're obviously trying. It's right at the beginning of the Fringe. They're trying to get people to come in and talk about it. And he asked us at the end to do all the social media stuff. And so I suspect quite a lot of people like us were on complimentary tickets or press tickets or that type of thing. And I have to say, that is a really big room to fill.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
a couple of hundred people, isn't it?
He
Yeah.
himself, because we've met him.
Oh, yeah, because he came down at the end, yeah.
You know, he's a great character.
Yeah,
I mean,
nice guy.
He's never been
lovely,
here before in Edinburgh. I mean, he's done other stuff and he's
Yeah.
toured Europe and South
He's
America.
a Canadian chap.
Yeah, but brilliant, really nice guy. You would really, really like to have been given a couple of numbers where you. There was one where we were clapping a bit, but yeah, for the quality of the music, you really want to feel a little bit more engaged. Not all the time, but just once or twice.
I mean, especially when you've never heard the songs before. You're right. I mean, we could have done with not a hit, but a song that actually really got the audience going some extent.
Just slightly more variety of rhythm, basically.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I thought the ending was slightly weak in the sense that it just sort of finished.
Yeah.
There's no resolution. Yeah, again another performance where we had no resolution. If you look at the last video, we had a man or a puppet man pushing
plot spoiler.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
no,
so that was a plot spoiler.
No, you can say that he's pushing up a hill because that's what he was doing.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, no, you're right.
But we had to ask people to switch off because we were plot spoiling.
Yeah, plot spoiling. So but it didn't seem to have a resolution at the end. Jay's looking at me in a very strange way now.
No, I don't think it did actually. No, you're right.
And the lights sort of went down, and then people started clapping, and I thought, my thought was, all right, that's the end, which is not quite what I expected. Normally you have you've come to the end of something. Now, clearly, when the director said for feedback, and hopefully he's going to be able to see this. I mean, and who are we to, we're just two people with opinions, really. Maybe they need to work on the ending a little bit to just telegraph to the audience that we're getting there, and we're, yes, it's an hour long, but there just needs to be some sort of signals to say this is the final song or whatever, really,
But I mean, music was good.
Music was good, yeah.
It was very
good. Yeah. And
Very
Duane
good.
came out and he was selling his albums and his T-shirts at the end.
Yeah.
So his music is on Spotify and on iTunes. So I'll put links to what I can find in the comments down below, so that you can go and check out his music. And he is on YouTube as well. So, but no, it was a good show. Yeah. Well, how many stars would you give it? We're going to start giving the stars because people are asking about stars.
I don't know. What do you reckon? 3.5? Are we giving halves?
Can we give half stars?
Can we give halves?
See, I don't think it's a 4-star.
No, I don't. But I don't.
But
think
I think it's more than a 3, and so I'm with you on that. So
we're going to give halves. 3.5.
3.5 stars. There we are. We've broken a rule in Edinburgh Fringe. So thanks so much for watching. If you like what we do, speak for us now.
We.
Jen will have her own YouTube channel shortly, I bet. If you like what we're doing, hit the subscribe button, and a thumbs up is all much appreciated, and ding that little bell if you want to be notified. See you in the next video. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well done, that's great.